Hello everyone, my name is Satyam Chaturvedi and I am back in this video with another explanation of the poem of your first flight book from class 10th. The poem's name is, which I am going to explain, is Fire and Ice, and it is composed by Robert Frost. The same the same poet who had also composed our previous poem which we had discussed, that was Dust of Snow. So in this poem, if you see, there are only 9 lines used. So again, this is a very short poem. And one more thing I want to tell you all, that this poem is also a symbolic poem. Symbolic. So the term used, fire and ice, are the symbols of something which we will discuss in this poem. So let's start with the fire first of all. So fire is being symbolized with the desire and wish of any particular person. Okay, so fire is being symbolized with desire, wish, or you can say wants, and ice is symbolized with ice is symbolized with hate. Okay, and what is the synonym of hate? Disdain. So fire is symbolizing desire and ice is symbolizing hatred, disdain in this poem. What the poet wants to actually iterate to the listeners, that there are two concepts according to the poet which will cause the destruction of world. So some says, first concept is that he believes that the world will end by fire, and some says the world will end by the concept of ice, that is hate. So in this poem we are going to see what is the theory of the poet according for the destruction of the world. Okay, so without wasting any time, let's start the explanation part. Some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. So in the first stanza of this poem, the poet is saying that some people say the world will end in fire. Means that the world will end because of uncontrolled desires of people, right? Because of uncontrolled desire, right? So the desire which cannot be controlled can cause the greater destruction in ending the world. Okay, now he in the next line is saying some say in ice. So there are two opinions divided of the world getting end. One is, some say that the world will end with the desire, and some say the world will end by hatred amongst the people. There are a lot of hate amongst the people, and that can also cause the destruction of the humanity as well as this world. In the next two lines, the poet is saying, from what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. Now poet is saying that he has seen in his life the destructive mode of uncontrolled desires. So if you want something badly, you can do anything for that to get that particular thing. So in this particular stanza, he is supporting that opinion, or those people who actually supports that, who actually supports the opinion of getting end of the world by fire. Okay, so in this particular stanza the poet is saying that he supports the one's opinion who says that the world will get ended by fire, and fire means desires. Why he says so? Because he has experienced in his own life the power of uncontrolled desire. Okay, so this was the first stanza. Now moving ahead to the second stanza, let's see what the poet is saying. But if I had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction ice is also great and would suffice. Now, first of all, let's discuss the difficult words in the second stanza. Two words are there, as you can see: perish and suffice. So, perish means to die or to get end, and suffice means in enough amount, or you can say sufficient, right? Sufficient. So these were the meaning of two difficult words used in this second stanza. Now let's see what actually the poet is explaining in the second part of this poem. So, but if it had to perish twice, so although the poet is supporting the opinion of fire, but he is continuing that if the world had option of, if the world had to be get ended twice, if it had to perish twice, it means the world. So if he is saying that if the world can perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction ice is also great and would suffice. So he is saying, although I am supporting the concept of fire, but if the world had to get ended twice, he has also seen enough amount of hatred in his life, and he has seen the destruction caused by hatred. Now, just like ice melts very slowly, right? Ice melts very slowly. In the same manner, hatred also destroys the people, but in slow manner, or you can say gradually. But in contrary with that, fire can destroy the world in one go. Okay, so that is why the fire is being symbolized with desires and wish, which can cause destruction in quick succession. In contrary, ice has been symbolized as hatred. Hatred also causes a lot of destruction, but it destroys the people very slowly. So in the second line, in the second stanza, if you see, he is saying, I think I know enough of hate. The poet has also seen enough hate in his life to say, for what? To say that for destruction ice is also great. He is saying the hatred can also be a great device to get this world ended. That is why the word suffice is used, that it is also sufficient, just like the fire. Okay, so I have explained the both stanzas of this particular poem, and with that now I am going to discuss the poetic devices used in this poem. Okay, so before we start the poetic device, first thing we discuss the rhymings used in this particular poem. Rhymings. Okay, so what are the rhymes used? Let's see. The first line, the word used is fire. Then see in the third line it is desire. Then again in the fourth line it's fire. So fire, desire and fire can be termed as A. Right? Okay. Now let's see the second stanza, second line of this poem. Ice, twice, ice and suffice. So second line, fifth line, seventh line and ninth line is having the same rhyming, and that can be termed as B, right? Now let's see another part. Hate and great. These two words are rhyming, so we can name it as C. Now let's see what are the perfect rhyming for this particular poem. So we will divide the poem in three lines. Fire, ice, desire. Fire twice, hate, and ice, great, suffice. So fire is A, ice is B, and desire is A. So in the first three lines, the rhyming used is A, B, A. Now next three lines, fire twice, hate. So fire is A, twice is B, and hate is C. A, B, A, B, C, and the last three lines, ice, great, suffice. So ice is B, great is C, and suffice is also B. So the rhyming used in this poem is A, B, C, and B, C, B. So this was the rhyming. Now let's discuss the literary devices used in this poem. So first literary device used is anaphora. We had also discussed the same literary device in our previous poem. What is anaphora? When two or more than two words are used in the starting of the line. So if you see here, some word is used in consecutive two lines. So the same word, the starting of the line with the same word in two or more than two consecutive lines is termed as anaphora. So in this particular line, anaphora is used. Okay. So this is the first poetic device used. Now coming back to the second. The same we discussed in our previous poem also, enjambment. Enjambment. What is enjambment? When the stanza is being referred without using, when the same sentence is being used in the poem without any punctuation in more than two or three consecutive lines, that is termed as enjambment. So if you see here, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction ice is also great and would suffice. This is the one sentence which is used without any punctuation, and this is termed as enjambment. Okay, so this was the second poetic device used in this particular poem. Now third one is alliteration. Alliteration. Alliteration, what is the definition of alliteration? The repetition of consonant sound in the same line in close connection. So if you see here, some say in both these lines, sa sound is repeating, right? So here alliteration is used. Okay. Now after this, there is another figure of speech used, that is assonance. Assonance. The same figure of speech we had also discussed in our previous poems, and same is used here also, assonance. So what is assonance? Assonance is repeating of the vowel sound in the same line in close connection, right? So if you see here, I hold with those who favor. So in this particular line, O sound, vowel sound is repeating constantly. It doesn't matter whether the letter is used in the beginning or in the end or in the middle. But the condition is that vowel sound should be repeated constantly in the same line. The place does not matter. So in this particular line, as you can see, assonance is used because O sound has repeatedly used. In the same manner, you are also supposed to find the different assonance used in this particular poem. Okay, so these were the literary devices I discussed of this poem which are used, and I have also explained the explanation part of this particular poem. Now you I am signing off from this video, and I hope that you everything is get cleared, and if you are having any problem, feel free to ask me. Till then, take care. Bye bye.